Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. We're going to talk today about Walmart's earnings. I did a video a couple days ago, actually the day before Walmart came out with their earnings, and I came out with a prediction that you're going to see them come out with bad earnings. And the reason why is because you are going to see many things happening where they're going to blame inflation, the supply chain. But the reality is because most of the stuff they sell is total crap, and you don't need it to live. And in this environment, retailers are going to start to suffer horrifically. And this week is no letdown if you were expecting retailers to start putting out dismal earnings. We're also going to talk about Target and things like that. But first, let me tell you guys, I'm going to be in San Antonio, Texas next Friday, the 27th of May, and we're going to be meeting down on the Riverwalk in San Antonio. If any of you guys are in the San Antonio area and you want to hang out, myself, Chris Taylor, and Jack from Nobody Special Finance are going to be hanging out. We're going to be meeting up at the Embassy Suites during, don't tell them this, the manager's reception. So during happy hour, we're going to be meeting up. We're going to be hanging out, having a soda or whatever you want to have. And then we're going to walk downtown. We're going to hang out. We're just going to, that's my thing. My promise to you guys is I'm going to travel the country and meet as many of you as possible. And so I'm super pumped to do that. So again, I'm going to put information down below in the comments section of the date and where we're meeting, all right? And it costs nothing. It's Embassy Suites. Was on a budget, baby. All right, so we're going to be going over a story in the Hedge. I'm going to link that in the description, and it's entitled "Target's Plunge Exposes Inflation's Risks to Margin." Now, again, I talked about this the other day, the day before Walmart came out with their earnings. I said, you're about to get a slew of earnings reports from retailers, and retailers are going to start to collapse. But I gave Walmart as an example, and I said, watch what's going on behind the scenes. This is very important because Walmart just posted its worst day on the stock market. I think it was down 12%. On, well, what day was that? Tuesday? I don't even remember now. Things are going by fast. I don't even remember what today is. That was their worst day since, I believe, 1987. So to see a behemoth like Walmart get hit that hard because of earnings is pretty impressive. And we're going to talk about some other retailers here. But I said, inflation is what's going to be the key. See, when people start to get hit in their pocketbooks because of rising costs of staples like gas and food, and now they're getting hit with housing and insurance and everything, right? Things that they have to pay for to keep their way of life going. Then and I'm talking about the necessities. What happens is you have a shrinking, a contracting. This is that deflation that I was talking about a month ago. I said deflation's already started, and I gave an example of streaming services even before the Netflix returns came out. I have to remind you guys this because I want to teach you guys how to look behind the scenes, what's going on. So it's like you can tell the future because you can see human emotion and actions that are happening today. And then you can project very easily what people are doing today or what they're thinking, what they're saying, how they're feeling. Then you're going to see how they're going to spend their money in the future. And that's how a good investor makes money. They can project what's coming in the future so they get into certain sectors before the people rush into it, all right? Now it says here, while share prices of retailers have been all over the map in 2022, this week's post-earnings plunge in Target and Walmart are highlighting the damage inflation can do to profit margins. Again, I'm going to try and link that Walmart story so that you could see the video that I made the day before Walmart came out with their bad earnings. And then it gives you an idea of the thought process of what goes on in my mind when I'm looking at investments and where things are going. It says, among chain stores in the S&P 500, only Dollar Tree, which was up 15% at the point of the recording, and Walmart up 2.25%, had positive returns year to date before Tuesday, okay? So both of them had positive returns before this abysmal, earnings report came out. The two worst performing retailers were e-commerce sites, Amazon.com and Etsy. And I want to explain that. The reason why is because they saw an absolute massive boom during the time when everything was shut down and everybody went into their houses. So they went online. Okay. So that they saw an artificial boom. And we've already seen Amazon come right back to where they started from pre-closure. Okay. All right. The rotation by investors generally was based on two themes: a switch from online to brick and mortar retailers due to the continued economic reopening following all the things that closed down, and then expectations that consumers would shift to lower priced goods due to higher inflation. All right. And we're seeing that obviously. Dollar Tree, it sounds funny. Dollar Tree has been hit the worst, I would say, from inflation simply because they've got to change their name. I mean, and I've talked about this. I talked about this a year ago and I said, get ready for the inflation boom that's coming because of all the money that dove into the market when, in all kinds of different markets, right? when the government was giving out these stimulus checks. For a lot of people that say, hey, I never got it, well, you still have to, I don't care if you didn't get it. Honestly, you have to look at the sheer amount of money that went into a lot of people's hands that they just blew it. So it caused that first initial jolt of inflation, right? So places like Dollar Tree got hit because, you know, they're selling out of goods, and then they have to literally raise their prices due to supply chain and inflation issues. I mean, that psychologically can affect a lot of things. It's a very interesting story. So it says here, Walmart fell 11% on Tuesday, the most in 35 years, after it's sliced its 2022 outlook due to inflationary pressures. Again, I want to reiterate, they are telling you ahead of time, right now, things are looking bad, and they're going to get worse. And we've seen that with Netflix, where they go, hey, we just lost 200,000 subscribers. The street just went nuts and went, whoa, you haven't lost subscribers since 2010, I think it was. And I said, oh, get ready, because in the next 90 days, we expect to lose 2 million, like 10x that number. Like, I'm telling you right now, things are going to get very grim, and that's why I'm trying to prepare everyone for this, what's coming this fall, because we have a lot of things, dynamics happening that converge in the fall, especially the end of the summer season going into the cooler season, and people are going to feel like it's now or never, and we're going to talk about that, where we're going to see riots and those kind of things. It says Target plunged 22% in pre-market trading on Wednesday, as the recording of this is going on, after lowering its operating margin outlook for the full year. Similar to Walmart, the big box department store chain saw strong demand for groceries and household essentials at the expense of discretionary categories in the first quarter. Guys, this is exactly what I was talking about, and I ask you to please check out that video that I made the day before. It came out, was it Monday, that Walmart's earnings are going to be abysmal for these exact reasons. These are not hard things to see coming ahead of time, okay? For everybody that was, you know, panicked about buying a car, and I said back in December, don't worry, this spring these things are going to start coming down. We're already starting to see that come down, because the average consumer is being destroyed when it comes to inflation. And that's why it's very important for you to prepare now. And how do you prepare? You buy things you need now with your extra money. And if you don't have extra money, you go find extra money. You literally go out and do a side hustle or something right now to save yourself from the upcoming inflation wave. And then what happens is you can keep your mind clear and your belly full, and then you go out and take advantage of, because consumers are going from slowing their spending as far as discretionary spending, you know, at movie theaters, things like that, to buying staples, to eventually they're going to need to come up with extra money. So what is the first thing they do? They start to sell their stuff. Actually, it's the second. First thing is they slow their spending. Second thing is they start to sell their stuff. So that's why patience is a virtue in this game, and I think that's very, very important. So it says right here, it starts to talk about the Federal Reserve, right? And I'm going to close on this. Tuesday, the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, said the Fed will continue to raise rates until there is clear and convincing evidence that inflation is abated or has abated. I want you to understand one thing. The Federal Reserve does not care to get in front of this, because if they did, they would raise rates to above the actual rate of inflation. That would actually cause people to save money and stop spending money. But the velocity of money is picking up, which means things are going to get more expensive. The Fed would have to raise rates to where they're literally in the high teens right now. And you don't see that happening. Why? Because they also know it's going to collapse the economy, and then they're going to get blamed for it. So I believe they're going to make it appear like they are letting inflation, they're trying to control it, all while knowing it's going to collapse, and then they can actually blame, just like Walmart and Target, inflation as the problem and not their policy. All right, guys, I hope you got something out of this. Take a look at the information below for the San Antonio meetup. What is it? Friday the 27th of May, I'm pretty sure. Just check below. And I hope you guys have a great day. That being said, the Economic Ninja is out.